Today, let's discuss how you can have fantastic friendships. This same strategy that I'm going to share with you applies to romantic relationships as well, but I want to focus in on friendships, and I'll do another piece around relationships. And by the way, if you've been listening to these videos and you enjoy them, give a like or subscribe. It helps support the channel, so thanks. Let me share with you my journey a little bit about this and share with you a story, some examples of this. I would say historically, my relationships have been fraught with frustration, peppered with drama, a lot of me feeling let down, people feeling like they're walking on eggshells around me. And this is very different now, I think. Yes, I had to think about different people here. But my relationships right now are fantastic. I feel amazing in my friendships. And the friends that I have, they feel very connected to me and grateful for having me in my life because they tell me that. And I feel the same way about them. Here is one of the two keys that I want to share with you today around how to have these relationships. And again, this is something I've had to learn. Like everything I share in these videos, these are things that I've learned and that I've helped other people achieve in a huge way in their own lives. So the first piece is responsibility. Now, I know it's a boring word and it's not necessarily inspiring, but as soon as we start to take responsibility for how we feel in our lives, 100% responsibility, and then we relate to others as if they are not at all responsible for how we feel, it frees them up to be how they are. Right? So, for example, if you want to feel inspired by your friends, that's great. And I think that's cool. That also has limitations to it because it puts an expectation on the relationship. Now, I'll get into a little bit more of the weeds on this. So stay with me here. As if we want to feel more love from our friends, what are we do? It's an expectation that we put, and as soon as we put an expectation on that way on the relationship, it can be a burden. Because what if you want to feel loved by them or you want to feel inspired by them, and they're not feeling inspiring or particularly loving? All of a sudden, you're on some level feeling disappointed. So, what I'm talking about is, I would say, pretty pro level how to have friends. And if you practice this in all of your relationships, oh my God, people are going to adore you and you're going to feel so connected, not only to yourself, but to other people because you're just holding all that responsibility. Now, I'm not saying you're taking responsibility and like burdening yourself with it and creating this whole martyr thing of like, oh, woe is me. No, there's like an expanded way to be responsible for how we walk through the world, right? Now, here's the thing. Just because we are walking through the world being responsible for our feelings doesn't mean that we don't communicate what our expectations are about the relationship. But they're more logistical expectations, right? And they're communication expectations. Like you might explicitly say, I'm not okay with you talking to me in a certain way, right? And you might communicate that as an expectation. You might communicate an expectation around them texting you back when you text them so that you know that they've heard their communication. It's fantastic to make expectations very explicit, again, when they're done with care and with love. And then the person can either agree to meet your expectation or your request or not. And it may be the fact that you put out a lot of expectations and they're like, I'm not willing to do that. Then you have the choice around whether you want to continue in the nature of that relationship or not. And you can still love and care for them and not be in that kind of close friendship relationship or romantic relationship, but you've communicated your expectations. Now, again, I'm sure this sounds kind of mundane or dry or maybe not that fun to do, but I can tell you there is a quality of liberation that comes to your relationships when, one, you take on responsibility for yourself in terms of how you feel and how you walk through the world, because it allows them to add to your experience as opposed to feeling burdened or that they are carrying some responsibility they have of you, but it's not theirs to carry. And two, you create and communicate certain expectations about the relationship with them. It gets really clear that it's not personal. If they don't meet your expectations, it's like, oh, okay, you're not doing this. You said you were going to, right? And I feel frustrated because you said you were going to and now you're not. Okay. And then what do they have to say? I apologize. I'm committed to this. I want to. I want to be that way. Okay, great. I'll give you some more time. And if you don't want to meet it, it's fine. But if this continues, the relationship's going to have to change. Right? Those kinds of powerful relationships, when you can handle them with maturity, with grace, with care, and with that clarity, oh my gosh, you'll transform your relationships and you will have amazing friendships, right? So that's one piece. The second key that I want to share with you is give what you want. So what I mean by that is that if you want to have relationships that are inspiring to you, create yourself to express inspiration into the world in those relationships, ideally. If you want to feel more care and to get more care and more love from your friendships, give more of that, right? Now you might say, well, I can't give it if I don't have it. And this is where we really want to address this. It is a law, it is a fact that we can generate any experience we wish to have. I know if you're suffering, you might say like that's way too far for me to accept. I don't actually agree with it. It's not my experience. I get it and I understand. I have been there myself, and I have been someone when hearing this from someone like me, I said, no, that's not actually true. And lo and behold, after a lot of work of doing this, and now I'm a monk, so I'm really immersed in this world, it's absolutely true. We can generate experiences, feelings, and mindsets that we can create ourselves. Now, it takes something. It takes a dedication. And it takes actually the belief that it's true. And I'm someone that's telling you that does it, that practices it every day, and is most of the time very successful at that, at generating certain experiences. There are other videos where I talk about how to do that, and the key to this is acceptance, which you can just look at my channel. There's a lot around this kind of work, and it's true. All this to say, if you want to have great friendships, you want to relieve people of the expectations, and you want to be a generator of what you want. And the fascinating thing about life and relationships is that the more that we generate experiences inside of us, the more that we get those experiences back, the more that they are reflected in the world around us through the people that we're close to. So be clear about responsibility, communicate expectations, and generate the feelings and the experiences that you want to have in the friendships. And you will absolutely find that you are surrounded by fantastic friendships wherever you go. All my best to you.